Welcome to our 500th show. 500 shows, thousands of ideas helping shape a better future. Now, we would have had some fireworks to mark the occasion, but as we know, they're not exactly sustainable. Instead, we've got a deep dive into a topic that is close to our hearts. It's an important Pan-African subject. What could it be? Okay, I'll tell you. It's solar energy.
More and more, Africa is turning to the sun in the race to find new ways to meet the energy demands of today. But turning that potential into actual progress is not always easy. We'll visit 3 countries to see how they're navigating the opportunities, challenges and choices shaping the future of solar energy on the continent. And we start right here in Nigeria.
It happens almost every day. Just as he sits down to work, the power goes out. He asked to remain anonymous, fearing problems with his landlord.
Some period, straight 3 days, no light at all. 1 week, no light at all. So in the middle of the night, you hear the children crying because they are sweating.
Nigeria's unreliable power supply affects millions of people. Diesel generators are expensive, so why not simply switch to solar? This Lagos resident was tired of the constant power cuts, so he decided to generate his own electricity.
So I just got solar panels, they're outside, and only for me to just courtesy to inform my landlord that I have solar panels, I want to install them. And he said he doesn't allow that in his house.
Because as solar installations spread, concerns about safety are growing too. Fearing fires like this, many landlords in Nigeria are reluctant to allow solar installations on their properties. A series of videos circulating online have added to those fears. But why do some solar systems catch fire?
You know, what you are witnessing, that you see that fire, is most likely from a substandard panel. Look at this one, it's wiring. This is purely wiring and substandard products. You know, the fire is starting from the solar charge controller. Now, this one is from the panel.
According to experts, the problem is often not the solar technology itself. Many fires are caused by poor quality components, faulty wiring, and poor installation. Demand is growing faster than the number of certified technicians, and substandard equipment continues to flood the market. So, is solar failing to solve Africa's energy crisis? Let's go to the other side of the continent to look for answers. In southern Ethiopia, 552 farmers are harvesting fresh vegetables. The pumps bringing groundwater for the fields are powered by solar panels. A first in a country where 45% of the population still lacks access to electricity. Until now, farmers in Doribafano in southern Ethiopia mainly grew maize and sorghum. But thanks to this solar project, low-cost irrigation throughout the year means they can try new crops, an idea that appeals especially to young farmers, such as Daniel Milkes.
በሶላር በጀነሬተር ሲሆን ደግሞ 200,000 ወጪ እናደርጋለን። በሶላር ደግሞ 37,500 ኮን የምንከፍለው ማለት ነው። እሱ ደግሞ ወጪ የቀነሰን ደግሞ ምንድነው? አሁን ይሄ እዛ እየሰራን ያለው ደግሞ ለኛ የቢቢሲ ወጪ የለም፣ የጀነሬተር ዘይት መቀየራ ምናምን ችግር የለም። ዋቀጥታ ይለቀቃን ከዛ በኋላ በነፃ እየሰራን ነው ማለት ነው። ተጠቃሚ ሆነናል ማለት ነው።
The government built this solar system to supply power to farmers, who contribute modest service fees to help keep it running. Ethiopia relies heavily on low-cost hydropower from the Nile River. But that electricity mainly benefits people and businesses connected to the national grid. So how can the country reach its roughly 17 million smallholder farmers, who produce around 90% of Ethiopia's food? The government is now trying to diversify the country's energy supply. And it wants more of the solar industry to remain inside Ethiopia. 5 major Asian manufacturers have agreed to build solar factories in the country.
It is a targeted operation. That is why they are currently operating in Ethiopia. Almost 80% of this total population currently lives in the rural part of the country. So reaching out the electricity to this rural community is time consuming as well as costly. So the plan is to produce those solar cells and panels here in Ethiopia and create a community of off-grid society.
Local production could make solar cheaper, but cheaper technology does not always mean cheaper electricity, as our next stop shows. Most of Kenya's electricity comes from renewable sources led by geothermal power, yet its electricity is among Africa's most expensive. 1 kilowatt hour costs around 20 euro cents, roughly 36 times the price in neighboring Ethiopia. Those high prices have created opportunities for a new generation of solar businesses. Kenyan startup EcoAfrica provides solar-powered storage for farmers. Its cold rooms are essentially 6 meters containers with solar panels on top. Farmer Yvonne Anyonyi grows herbs for the European market. They have to arrive fresh, otherwise their value quickly drops.
The region where I'm operating, it's so hot. So there's a lot of sunshine. So, I mean, instead of letting it go to waste, why don't we harvest it and be able to come up with a lot of production?
She now grows more than 20 herbs, including thyme, mint, and rosemary. Kenya loses up to 40% of its food between farm and plate, calling poor storage and transport the main reasons. EcoAfrica now works with more than 20,000 farmers across Kenya, Madagascar, and the Seychelles. Kenya is becoming a big solar market and attracting some major industry players. Multinational Sun King has opened a factory producing devices like solar-powered TVs and lights and offers repairing services. One of its most popular products is an off-grid solar system that powers lights and charges devices in homes and small businesses. The company says it has sold 7.3 million solar kits in Kenya and ships around 200,000 solar-powered televisions each year. James Kimani is among those who embrace the technology. He left the national grid and has relied on solar ever since.
This is my 6th month without paying anything, and I have constant supply of solar lighting. Natumia TV throughout, even in the cold weather. I'm still using daily, and I'm very comfortable with it. I'm very happy.
And it's not only households making the switch. Thika Cloth Mills, one of Kenya's oldest textile factories, is planning a major solar expansion that will cut its monthly electricity bill by over a third.
So our bill would have been like 12 million a month. Because of putting in the solar, we have managed to contain that bill to 8.5 million a month.
For Kenya's struggling textile industry, savings like this can make it easier to compete with cheap imports from Asia. The installation was financed by REF Energy, a Nairobi company funding large-scale solar solutions.
Finance is not optional. Finance is so important for the solar industry to grow, to unlock the solar potential. The cost of capital is 3 to 7 times more in Africa, and only 3% of solar financing actually gets to Africa. Kenya has potential for 15 gigawatts of solar, but it can only unlock that potential if we can source financing at better, smarter, cheaper rates.
Africa has enormous solar potential, but receives only a tiny share of global solar investment. Unlocking that potential will require one thing Sunshine cannot provide: affordable finance. Back in Nigeria, one question remains: who makes sure solar systems are installed safely? That responsibility lies with the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA.
Part of what NEMSA does is certified electrical personnel. The installer is to inform NEMSA that I'm done with this. Please, could you come and certify? So NEMSA will come. If NEMSA is called, NEMSA will come. Then we'll carry out inspection and test.
But experts say enforcement remains weak. Poor data sharing, limited funding, and the continued use of uncertified electricians make it difficult to stop dangerous installations.
We are trying to do a public awareness to let people know that before you call an installer, that they have NEMSA certification, so that we can do a follow-up and get to the root of the issue. Solar is safe, but it now depends on how it is installed and how it is utilized.
But safe installation is only one part of the equation. As Nigeria's solar market grows, so will its waste. What happens when millions of panels, batteries, and other electronic components reach the end of their lives? Nigeria has strong demand for affordable electronics, but many components must still be imported. Quadloop is trying a different approach, turning electronic waste into solar lanterns. Old laptop batteries, wires, screws, and discarded screens get a second life instead of becoming an environmental hazard.
We source this battery as a waste product. Then we now recharge it, then select those ones that are good to repurpose it for our own products. This one, we put it in a machine that will convert it into this particular shape. So this now serves as the cover for our own lamp. So at the end of the day, we have something like this.
Africa's solar boom is about more than generating electricity. From irrigation in Ethiopia to cooling crops in Kenya and recycling e-waste in Nigeria, Africa saw its fastest solar growth yet in 2025. But the next phase will depend on more than sunshine. Quality equipment, trained technicians, affordable finance, and proper recycling will determine whether this boom can last. But with those elements in place, solar could help build a cleaner and more resilient energy future.
Now for something else you can do with sunshine. You can bake bread. But baking is one of humanity's oldest skills. But in Lesotho, one man is doing it in ways that look more science fiction than Stone Age. And best of all, he can keep his business running even if there's a power failure.
Karobo Matsumai is creating something truly special. Bread baked entirely with the power of the sun. It's not made with a regular oven, not even solar panels. Instead, he uses this curved mirror. It's a solar parabolic cooker. The mirror bundles the sun's heat and reflects it on an iron tube, which absorbs it. Inside the solar cooker's tube, temperatures can go as high as 400 degrees Celsius. The mirror needs to be adjusted frequently to follow the sun. And if it's done correctly, the cooker is very efficient. On a sunny day, Karobo bakes over 20 loaves of bread. He also uses a solar oven to cook things. A simple insulated box with a mirror directing sunlight and trapping heat inside, producing temperatures of around 150 degrees. Lesotho is blessed with over 300 days of sunshine a year. And in poor weather, Karobo can still use his stove indoors. During his training and studies, the innovative baker specialized in food science and solar technology, skills he now brings together in a unique way.
I love cooking, that's the first thing. And the other thing why I choose solar is because now the world is shifting to the power of solar technology, because I wanted to take part and contribute in helping the world to shift to renewable energy.
Around the world, up to 2.3 billion people still lack access to modern or clean cooking options and rely on wood, kerosene or coal as cooking fuels. But firewood and charcoal can accelerate deforestation, and when they are burned, they release soot, CO2 and other greenhouse gases, which contribute to global warming. And there's a huge health risk too. The WHO estimates that 3 to 4 million people die prematurely each year from the effects of air pollution from indoor cooking. The Walker Solar Bakery has been running since 2023 and business is thriving. Just 2 years after opening, Karobo Motsamai won Lesotho's Young Entrepreneur of the Year award.
I wanted to make something for myself and I was passionate about starting the business. That's why I started Solar Bakery. I didn't have enough capital to start a bakery. So I used my skills to make this kind of machines to make my bakery work and again to come up with a different way of doing business.
Over 40% of the population of Lesotho are aged 15 to 35. And according to the World Bank, 1 in 4 are unemployed. Now Karubo has started training others to become solar bakers too. His bid to help reduce the country's unemployment levels. Karubo Matsamai's solar bakery not only creates new jobs, it shows how a simple technology can cut emissions, save money and reduce toxic air pollution without the end product losing any of its much treasured flavour.
From one inventor to another, we are heading to Tanzania for the next report. Masoud Kimpanya has made a huge name for himself in the country and beyond with his political cartoons and journalism. Now he has decided to do his bit towards fixing traffic pollution in his country with another handmade project.
This is Tanzania's first hand-built and domestically designed electric vehicle. Tired of soaring fuel prices and worsening air pollution, political cartoonist Masoud Kimpanya decided to act. He is known in Tanzania for his sharp pen and often car-themed cartoons, but now he's also known for designing cars. Masoud Kimpanya spent 11 months engineering and hand-building a compact electric pickup truck in a small workshop. The vehicle is tailored for low-income traders and delivery people who need affordable urban transport. Most components are locally sourced, though the batteries and motors are imported from China.
Mwanzo nilikuwa natumia lese kwa siku kuweka petroli zaidi ya 50 kwa sababu biashara yangu ni ya kutembeza, ya kufanya delivery. Lakini kwa gari ya kuchaji na maana kwa siku naweza kutumia maybe shilingi 7,000. Nakuwa nimemaliza kazi yangu ya siku nzima.
The range of the car is up to 160 kilometers with a fully charged battery. And the inventor says this home-designed truck is much cheaper than buying a comparable imported EV. There are over 5,000 electric vehicles like this three-wheeler on Tanzania's roads. That's the highest in East Africa. But there's still no public charging network. Most owners rely on standard home sockets, a challenge in a country where scheduled outages of power for maintenance still occur. Masoud Kimpanya is working on new designs. His next model is already under construction, and others keep coming in. There's even interest from Kenyan President William Ruto and the Kingdom of Eswatini. But the inventor has a bigger goal: make EVs accessible to everyone.
Wao wanataka kuangalia wanakwenda kuokoa nini kiuchumi. Umeelewa? Kwa sisi lengo lao tunalitimiza, lakini wakati huo tunalitimiza lengo la kampeni kubwa ya kidunia.
You might be surprised to hear how this guy here is helping out the water over there. Now, it is stopping riverbanks from eroding, improving water quality, and providing shade that keeps marine life healthy. And that's not even all, because protecting water often starts on land. We travel to Burundi next to see how communities are working to restore and protect these vital ecosystems.
For the fishermen of Lake Nakitamo, heading out onto the water every day is a worthwhile experience again. 20 years ago, fish stocks had dwindled to critically low levels, but are now gradually recovering.
Ifi zirimo neza cyane ko zimaze kunguka, hajemo nizo bita amamamba n'amamara araboneka, ifi zirimo.
But what had happened? Why had the fish disappeared in the first place? 20 years ago, Lake Nagitamo was on the verge of drying up completely. just like nearby Lake Gakamirenda. Together, they form part of a vast wetland on the Burundi-Rwanda border, comprising 8 lakes in total and an array of swamps. But overfishing, deforestation, and other human activity had led to a decline in biodiversity here. The Sitatunga antelope is now under threat, as is the hippopotamus. Burundi is working to protect this fragile ecosystem because once one lake starts to dry up, its neighbors will also be in danger.
Ces lacs du Nord sont interconnectés. Quand le lac Gachamirinda connaissait un problème de tarissement, on s'attendait à ce que les autres lacs tout autour aussi connaissent le même problème. Mais on est intervenu rapidement. Pour le moment, le lac s'est établi.
The area taking in the lakes is home to around 45,000 people whose livelihoods depend on both fishing and farming. Their fields used to extend right up to the water. Until 20 or so years ago, they would divert water directly to irrigate their fields during dry spells, effectively draining the lakes. Glorious Mukamwiza was among the farmers who used to grow crops on the shores of Lake Nagitamo.
Twaraharima nk'ubu muci niho twarima twaratera imiriro y'ibijumbu ugasanga turiko turaharima imboga ibitunguru rero bamaze kuduha inyigisho baratubwira yuko iki kiyaga Nagitamo gikama kubera twe tuharima.
She now farms higher up on Gikoma Hill. During the current dry season, she's left her fields to help plant trees on the edge of Lake Gakamirenda. It's part of a program run by the NGO Inadis Formation Burundi to help restore and protect the lakes. According to the NGO, over 640,000 trees have been planted by the two lakes since 2005, belonging to one particular tropical species. Its scientific name is a bit complicated, Eschinomene elafroxylon, but in Burundi it is known as umirera. The saplings are actually cuttings from the tree's branches.
Uyu murera nibwo buzima bw'izofi kuko niho zivyarira none mu gihe maternité twozikuraho abavyeyi mumva bo kwarama none ntimumva ko nifi maternité yazo ari hajya muri musi y'ujya murera.
The aim is to replicate the success seen here with other lakes, like Lake Rewu, the largest of the 8 protected lakes. The island of Ruyoka is next stop for the NGO. People settled here over 40 years ago, long before the lake became a protected area. Today, around 50 families live on the island, and that number is growing. In an effort to preserve the lake's ecosystem, in 2010 the environmental authorities offered residents fields on the mainland, but just 5 years later, they came back.
Uwo mugambi twarawakiriye ariko ntiwatunezereye. Mbega mutegetse umuntu yo gukuraho wabaye akagushira kugwangara ukikwerera inkono n'isafuriya n'imisambi ugashira abantu imbere ubangarana utamenye uri kurabajana mbega vyonjohera.
Leaving their homes and fertile land for an uncertain future is a heavy price to pay, but there is another way. Around 2 smaller lakes, the NGO is helping farmers protect those ecosystems without abandoning their livelihoods.
Harakoze inyigisho barabihagarika barabiheba abarimo barakora ibyo bikorwa byose bari hejuru y'imetero 50 zubahirijwe kandi zikingiye ziriko n'akarimbi kacurana na Deformation y'u Burundi mu ntumbero zo kwereka umene gihugu na leta higarukiriza.
Some farmers like Bernard Witonse took up the option of being assigned livestock as well. He's also been given training on how to make compost from crop residues and animal manure, which he uses as fertilizer and to keep the soil moist during the dry season. Residents say the changes have improved their livelihoods and helped nature recover too.
Ico gihe twararoba tukabura urufi kuko icambere ntaho zagira zinyegeza canke zivyarira bo hama rero mugabo zirafise aho zibyarira impera urabibona zirafise urabona ko zifise nibyo z'iby'inyoni ziratamase urebye hirya no hino aho kumirira habona ko hari inyoni rero uyu munsi zirafise aho zibyarira.
The progress made has prompted Burundi to seek UNESCO World Heritage status for the lake region, with high hopes that international recognition will attract greater support for its conservation efforts.
You can find more stories on protecting water resources, electric mobility, and of course, solar power in our Eco Drop newsletter. It is bye for now. We'll see you next week.
And if you have any ideas you want to share with us, we'd love to hear your suggestions. Just write to us at eco@dw.com. Thanks for watching this special 500th edition of EcoAfrica. Bye for now.